All right. Well, today is, and I really just picked this day because of the date. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. So it's 2/22/22. So yes, I did just want to make a video on 2/22 of 22. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to share my screen. And what I wanted to kind of go over today is a kind of an intro of what's going to be March's topic. So we're starting to really get into some of the meat and potatoes. You'll find out why that's kind of funny in the next one. But okay, so this is my InBody from today. So I did this morning. Again, I always do it first thing in the morning before I work out. So then that way I haven't eaten for 45 or for 4 to 5 hours. I haven't drank anything. As soon as I get into the studio, I go to the bathroom and then I take the InBody before I work out so that it doesn't affect my water. And I make sure that it's not, which is why I actually didn't do it last week. Because you want to make sure it's not your time of the month. So, because that can throw off your water a little bit. So here's what's interesting. Like if I would have just looked at this InBody, then I would have seen, okay, my weight's 146. Last month, my weight was 147. Not a huge change there. But again, you guys know, I don't like looking at weight or BMI. They're not really anything that gives me a ton of information as to whether or not it was a successful month or not. But then when I started looking at it, I noticed that last month was 62. Actually, here's my last month, so that you guys can kind of see those numbers. But I put them on here to make it easier. So last month I was at 62.6. So this one, my muscle mass actually went up. My body fat mass went down. Last month was 34.9. This month is 33.1. My percentage of body fat obviously trended in the same direction, 22.7, 23.7. But I was pretty excited about, because I've been really focusing on my legs. So my arms went up a little bit, 125 to 126, 128 to 129. My trunk even went up. I have been doing some ab stuff, but not a huge focus. My main focus over this past month has been my legs. So I was excited to see that my left leg went from 101 to 1.3 or 103, and my right leg went from 103 to 104. So again, stayed pretty balanced, actually even a little bit more balanced left to right. But as you know, when I see this trend of, my muscle mass going up or staying stable and my body fat going down, that's, kind of my goal. So right now, my best number is 22.5. So that's, again, I'm trending kind of in that 22, 23, 24 arena. And what's interesting is, my basal metabolic rate went up a little bit. So I did redo my macros. I am going to, or my PAL number and my calorie count. So I am going to drop it down a little bit because I found that this was on average what I was eating, about 1,700 calories last month. So that will kind of bring us into, so what I did was I affected my PAL level because I wanted to see, last month, I just kind of ate the 4 meals. I tried to eat fairly well. I did keep a log and I said, okay, well, I got a good result. So that 1,700 to 1,750 kind of calorie count seems to be a good spot for me. So then I kind of worked backwards to figure out what did that mean for a PAL level, physical activity level, and a calorie count. So that's when I say that you use this to learn how your body reacts, this is what I mean. I got a good result in my InBody. So I said, okay, well, then the 17 to 1,750 calories that I was taking in, which was below kind of what I was targeting, seems to be a good number. So what I'm going to do for this next month going forward kind of leads in to what my topic for March is going to be. So I'm just going to kind of touch on it today because I don't want it to be too long of a video. But what I did was I dropped that PAL number down to 1.375, and I increased this from 250 to 300 so that I would get to that 1730, which is going to be my per day, which again is the same kind of per day that I was doing in February, even though unintentionally, I was trying to get more calories in. I just wasn't very successful at it. So, but I had a good result. So I'm going to stick with that. But what I am going to change is I'm going to change the macronutrients. So just kind of a start to talking about that a little bit. Let me start with this page. So I know you guys have seen this one. So again, the breakdown. So the breakdown in this: starchy vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, non-starchy vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains or starchy vegetables, healthy fat, and fruit. So I know that I gave you that kind of an idea for an overall proper portion size for your meals from that Kickbox Detox. But what I wanted to get into a little bit is just the macronutrient. So we're calling this macronutrient 101. So we're going to be really going over this. This is going to be the handout for next, for March. So I'm going to want to make sure that you guys all get this right at the end of the month. So maybe even pick it up on Monday, the 28th. I'll have it ready for you. So macronutrient 101 really starts out with carbohydrates. So we go from carbohydrates, and then, we want to click over to this. And then it tells you a little bit more over here. And then artificial sweeteners, proteins, fats. Like I said, this is going to be, there's going to be some topic that we cover on each week because there's a lot to get to when we really start talking about the breakdown. So without actually going through each of these, what I'm going to be doing, let me stop share this. So what I'm going to be doing over the course of March is really talking to you about how in this month, all I'm changing is the structure or the percentages or the grams, depending on how you kind of count it. I think grams is typically probably a more popular way of kind of looking at it versus percentages. But so grams, I'm going to try to increase the number of protein grams that make up that 17 to 1750 calorie count. And I'm trying to decrease the fat or, potentially the carbs. But I want to see when I just adjust the macros a little bit to see how that affects my overall InBody from month to month. So again, one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning, and I'll kind of reiterate it here, don't change a ton. I'm going to keep on the same type of workout schedule that I've been doing, which is 3 times at 9 round, and then twice with the weights. Again, I'm focusing on my legs. So I'm probably going to do that throughout the month of March and then maybe switch it up in April. But I'm going to kind of keep that stable so that I can see what changing up the percentages of my protein, but keeping the overall calorie target the same. So again, changing one thing or maybe 2 things at the most will help you really kind of zone in on where those sweet spots are. So hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, schedule a one-on-one and we can sit down and kind of go over what your plan is for this next month. But again, I'll have all of that ready on the 28th for you guys to pick up. So then you'll have that when you have these videos and kind of look at them. All right. Talk to you later. Happy 2/22 of 22.